Hello, this is Kim with Standing on Solid Ground. I am your host of this motivational and inspirational podcast, and today's book of the Bible, Judges. The book of Judges is named for the various rulers called judges, who are the book's central figures. These judges were generally military leaders and fighters more than preachers of righteousness. And if we recall, after the death of Joshua, there was a rise of monarchy. And this meaning that judges took over. Now, if we remember going back, it was Moses who took leadership first, and then Joshua. And now it is a transition from one man being a leader of taking them to the promised land and getting them to where God needed them to be. They became judges at this point in leadership. Now, as I would continue learning and reading the book of the Old Testament that tells the history of Israel under the leaders known as judges. The collection of books comprising the sacred scripture of the Hebrews and recording their history as the chosen people, the first half of the Christian Bible. Now, as we know, judges in today are in courtrooms. They're presiding over cases from murder to divorce to lawsuits of businesses or money, financials, bills, and what have you. And so they have scattered quite abroad many sectors where there are constant battles between two parties, and some will require lawyers or attorneys, and some may not. And in this case, judges, this is where it all began. Now, I found it interesting that the first judge is Othniel, who was the very first judge over the children of Israel, getting them out of the land under a leadership of a king that was very much being very cruel to the children of Israel. And so Othniel became that judge and ruler over the children of Israel, getting them out of that hand under that king. So if you look at how it all transpired, we had Moses and Joshua. Then there were kings and priests. Now there are judges. And this is how the development all came about. And if you think about it, it is very, very important for us to see how everything fell into place. And this is why this is important to explain each book, because we look at the books of the Bible as face value, but we really never understood the historical part of it and the reasons why it came about. And this is very important for us even in today's time. As I recall, the first 5 books was the creation of law. It was the foundation and how laws came about. And this is where lawmakers in today's time are rebuilding on. The foundation was created in the Old Testament from the first 5 books of the Bible. Now, I talked about Joshua prior and his journey with the Lord and how he made a difference, so to speak. But in his passing, this is where judges came into place. Very important, very essential to know. And as we gravitate and we learn this, I'm getting excited. I don't know if many are getting excited about this, but I get excited because this opens my mind. This broadens my understanding. And to understand that this is very essential for our lives today. Now, I also wanted to know, what did judges mean in the Bible? And the biblical judges are described in the Hebrew Bible and mostly in the book of Judges as people who served roles as military leaders in times of crisis, in the period before an Israelite monarchy was established. So it was important for God to have judges, because if you think about it, it builds up to Christ. It's building up to Christ, but it went in stages. So the book of the Bible for today is Judges. It is the 7th book of the Old Testament. This book was actually written by Samuel. Samuel was the writer of this book. Another very important factor. And I also understand it is the this is the 3rd series of 5 books that reflect in theology. And I didn't know that either. And I will talk more about that at a later time, because there are other judges mentioned, like Deborah, who was the first woman judge. So it is not anything new to have women as judges in today's time. Deborah was the first female judge. Very interesting. Again, the book of the Bible for today is the book of Judges, which is the 7th book of the Old Testament. This is Kim with Standing on Solid Ground. You have yourself a wonderful and blessed day.